Welcome and thank you for stopping by, fellow fans of Clash of Clans. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And today, we are talking about a clan that had a fantastic day. This is Onehive. These guys are absolute monsters with the bat spells. Now, this is from a recent live stream where I was streaming the ESL play. It was a mobile tournament. It's different than the ESL qualifiers for Poland, although I do fully expect to see a Onehive team in Poland very, very soon. Now, we've already seen a couple of players from Onehive clans participating in other clans, but I'm waiting for a dedicated Onehive team. So let's go ahead and talk about these attacks. This was Eric from Onehive. If you don't know who Eric is, make sure you check out his YouTube channel, Clash with Eric Onehive. He specializes in, well, War 3-star strategies. So check it out. As you will see, these bats absolutely destroying. We will see Pekka Bobat and Witch Slap in today's episode, and we'll talk a little bit more about bat spells in general. Now, the interesting thing that I've noticed as we watch Eric's beautifully timed free spells right here, making sure that those splash defenses are frozen as the bats move across the base, what I've noticed is we are seeing a slight difference in international meta. And specifically what I'm speaking to is the fact that you'll notice the big German guys, the big Tribe Gaming / Dark Unicorns / whatever you want to call them. I think we've got some Dark Looters coming this next season. Those guys are not really using bat spells. It's extremely rare. But then over here in the US, these players, international clans, you see more of the bat spell. And it obviously comes down to personal preference and, for a big part, base design. But you'll notice that these Onehive guys do not fear the multi-target Inferno, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the episode, does make a huge difference when you're targeting these bases. If you see a multi-target Inferno base or a poorly designed splash lopsided base, then obviously it's going to be a clear target for a bat style attack. But specifically Witch Slap is just, I mean, the number of units that you get rolling on the screen between the witches' skeletons that you can see are still here, and then a massive number of bats, it just overwhelms anything. Even wizard towers and multi-target infernos and the Giga Tesla in the town hall can get completely overwhelmed by an attack like this. Eric picking up a beautiful 3-star, and that was to begin this tournament. That was live, the first attack, ultimate confidence right there. He goes in and drops the 3-star. Now this was the last attack in the tournament, and you'll notice the base is kind of unusual, and as they admitted, the attack was a bit of a YOLO. It was kind of a risky attack. And now, as you watch this attack get executed, it doesn't look that risky. It looks really well planned. You'll notice, check out the wizard towers. Again, multi-target infernos in the core, but the wizard towers a bit lopsided. Notice 3 right in the entry as we're moving into this base, and then the back 2 wizard towers, a critical base design fail. They are both within the radius of 1 freeze spell. So check it out. As the units move in towards the core, there's the freeze from the offensive Ice Golem. On the right hand side, the Barb King's barbs are working their way down, but get ready for the bat spells. You know they're coming in on that right hand side because, again, every single wizard tower in that entry compartment is gone, and the only remaining 2 wizard towers are both going to be frozen. The multi-target Inferno and the Giga Tesla both occupied by those units in the core. So this is an important part of any sort of Witch Slap attack. You'll see the bats on that eagle. Right in the core, all of the other defenses were being distracted. So it's important, and I've heard Eric say this, to kind of get those units moving in parallel to each other. Get the witches and their skeletons in, and then get the bats in as well. And it's just too many targets. It's a target-rich environment for defenses, but unless it's a wizard tower, it's going to be a finite number of units it can affect. Beautiful free spells from Scannet right there as the bats are still alive, working their way through almost every single defense in this base right now. That is a massive wave of bats, which slapping the heck out of this base. And that's it. There's your last defense, the Archer Tower. The bats did it all. Now the units that come out of the core, somebody spilled a box of Q-tips, skeletons are everywhere, and there is no way this base is going to withstand this Witch Slap. Again, maybe it was kind of a risky attack. It was a lot of fun to watch, and exploiting weaknesses of base designs whenever you've got lopsided or easily distracted defenses like that, then absolutely it is a great time to drop in the bats and time those freeze spells perfectly. That is critical. You'll notice that it's not just a matter of throwing bats in anywhere. You've got to be very careful about those freeze spells. You don't want to drop them too far away or too early before the bats get there, too late, and all the bats get wiped out. So there's another beautiful 3-star. Both of those two would be what you would call a witch slap attack, mostly just witches, about a dozen, and then about half a dozen or so bat spells. Now this was urban legend. We caught this attack midway through, and you'll notice this was what we call a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, in that you've got several P.E.K.K.A.s, you've got a bunch of bowlers, and then the bats coming in. Again, check the freeze spells, beautifully timed. They get through that multi-target Inferno, and there is one remaining multi-target Inferno, but there's lots of units in the core, and one more freeze. Check out, oh, come on. That is a thing of beauty right there. Most players would not know or would not be able to land that freeze spell just perfectly like that. That was awesome. I love that freeze spell. And although the bats did not get through the last multi-target Inferno, there are more than enough P.E.K.K.A.s. And of course, you've got your Archer Queen, you've got healers. It's overwhelming the number of units that are left. And yeah, you might fear the maxed out walls. P.E.K.K.A.s don't fear walls, okay? That's one of the few units that don't really... Okay, I guess there's a lot. There's miners, they don't really fear walls. There's anything with wings, there's hogs. But P.E.K.K.A.s, they get through these walls pretty quickly. Plenty of time left for Urban Legend, and then check out the Queen. She's finally going to catch up and be able to reach out over these walls and just barely have the health to finish off the multi-target Inferno. She goes down to the giant bomb, but again, plenty of time left, and Urban Legend picks up another 3-star. Out of 5 attacks against high-level Town Hall 12s, they picked up 3 triples, an incredible 60% triple rate. I fully expect to see these guys later on this year in a round in Poland. Now, let's move on and talk about some other style bat attacks right here. We're looking at more of the bat bomb, the bat waves. These are attacks where you're also taking advantage of a poorly designed base, or not necessarily poorly designed, but just, you know, where it's a little bit lopsided. You'll notice here, the Wizard Tower is kind of on the opposite side of the base. The Inferno Tower is multi up at the top as well. These bats, although they don't get through a massive part of the base, have taken out 13%, but that's like 13 or 14 defenses that those bats specifically wiped out right there. So it's an opening. You've got dragons, so more of a bat dragon right here with an electro dragon on the left-hand side. And so you've done 2 things. You've gotten rid of key defenses, and you've also begun to create a funnel with that electro dragon on the bottom left-hand side. That makes it a little bit easier to drop the rage spells to specifically track where your dragons, where your balloons are going to go. And you'll notice great warden ability. Again, lots of spell timing and placement, but another way to use bats against a base that just, the designer might have just missed the fact that the splash damage was a little bit lopsided, and you get too much value out of any sort of bat wave, bat bomb, and that allows, well, that allows this to happen. This wasn't a maxed out 12, but it was pretty high level. The Stone Slammer lasted almost all the way to the end of this attack, and the dragons did a great job. Just one more bat style attack to have in your belt to take a look at those bases that might be vulnerable with lopsided splash. Again, let's check out Toggy attacking Payman. And again, Payman is not going to get paid because look at the top right of his base. There's 2 single target Infernos and no Wizard Towers. On the left-hand side, all of the Wizard Towers are there, and every single Inferno Tower is single. Now, these bases scream, destroy me with bat spells. They really do. So this is a great use of funneling of the Electro Dragons. You'll notice that they're going to come in and kind of occupy any splash damage on the left-hand side. You can almost draw a line right down the middle of this base and say all splash on the left, all single targeting stuff on the right. Here come your bats on the right-hand side. And sure enough, they move on through many of these defenses, and then watch Toggy drop the rage right about here. That's going to accelerate those bats through several more defenses and down to the single target Inferno. So that entire right side of the base, all the way to the Eagle Artillery, completely cleared out, and now it's just a matter of cleanup. Unusually, this time you've got Electro Dragons for cleanup, but it's still effective. A couple of baby dragons and rage on the outside of this base, And it's another 3-star where Toggy saw a mistake or just a lopsided base and took advantage of it using the bats. Are they broken? I don't think so. Are they strong? Absolutely. Attacks like Witch Slap take skill, take timing, so these are not OP attacks, but rather warnings to base designers everywhere. Watch out when you're placing those single target Infernos and the splash defenses. Be aware that wizard towers near the edge of bases can be easily distracted, and never put 2 slash damaging structures next to each other that one free spell can grab them both. As always, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the episode. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, get ready, because the earliest possible update and sneak peek information comes here on the channel. Have a great rest of your day. Get out there, be kind to other people, animals, and the planet, and I hope to see all of you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks. Galadon! Witch slap? That sounds a bit dirty. I'd like to witch slap you.